Requires all players.
Come here.
Ringing it. Oh shit!
Santa
Claus?
Has he got a fucking gun?
Santa Claus is packing heat, bro. Dead Rising 4 Frank West returns, mate. Re-recorded intro because there's no co-op campaign and we well thought there was, mate, and there isn't one.
Why wouldn't there be?
Why wouldn't there be? This is part of the series. What the fuck? So we actually got 2 copies of this on the Windows Store. It has a Windows Store exclusive for 90 days, depending on when you're watching this. So we're going to check it out on the PC. You can get it on the Xbox as well, but it will be on Steam just in a little while.
In 90 fucking
days.
days.
In February it'll be out, which is really exciting. So we're going to go check it out. Although I have already played it because we found out there's no co-op campaign.
Select character.
Dead Rising 4, mate. Hoping to bring back the memories of 3 with a bit of co-op so we could both do this together. But unfortunately...
What the fuck is the co-op?
I know, right?
Why?
Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, so you took the lead on this one, so give us your input, pal.
Yeah, the multiplayer will get there sooner or later, but yeah, no co-op here, as would expect from this. I mean, this is a co-op game in my mind.
Beautifully designed to be a co-op game.
Well, actually, I would say co-op wouldn't have saved this one. Well,
really?
Obviously, they made this without co-op in mind, so the story is very single-player focused.
Shit.
It would have been a bit like Dead Island or something like that, where there's one guy doing the story and the other guy's just kind of there.
Tagging along.
Yeah, it would have been a tag along. So yeah, no co-op, guys. So be aware of that if you are buying this. So the story then is the return of Frank West, but it's not Frank West. It's the guy called Frank West, but his personality is different. It's voiced by a different guy.
So it's not Big Frank, mate.
It is not the big double F. No, it's not. It's not the big double F. He's still a photojournalist, and the way the story sets it up is he's quite a relaxed guy now after the events of the other games, but he gets tricked by his would-be protege into not going to mini golf, mate, which is what he thinks he's going to.
Bastard.
I know, fucking no mini golf. I was triggered, and actually gets taken back to Willamette in Colorado, where the shit's going down, and he's like, it's very aware of how stupid the story is, because it's like, oh, we're going mini golf on this massive, like, they've clearly been driving for about 2 hours.
And it's dark as well.
Yeah, and then he just goes, oh, the zombie thing, I don't want to go there. And she goes, please. And he goes, okay, then. I'll go and do that. So she sets him up, and then eventually, it's very much like all those films, like Commando, where the government turns up and is like, we need you back, Topper Harley.
How dare you?
It is exactly like that. He's hiding out as a teacher. He's teaching wedding photography, and they come and they're like, look, the shit's going down again back in Willamette. Can you come back and take a look? And he's like, why would I come back? Like, because he's not a soldier, right? So the reason he goes back is because you got to get the story, Frank. You got to be a journalist again, man.
No.
And he's like, okay, I'll be your journalist.
Do it.
The last, the main thing the government needs right now is a journalist in the middle of all these things. So that is the story. They throw him back in, and it does kick off in a mall, very reminiscent. Yeah. We're back in a mall, which is really enclosed. Honestly, it feels really enclosed, especially if you played 3, which was all outdoors essentially. And then it does open up into the whole city that you're used to. So it's a big open world. What you're going to find is, this is all not really spoilers. This is the intro to the game. There's a shadowy military organization. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? There's a shadowy military organization set up in the town.
Bullshit, mate. I'm not believing it.
Every fucking time.
I'm not believing it.
Yeah, and they're up to no good. They're fucking around with zombies. They're cloning zombies and doing strange things with new zombies, and maybe trying to create a stars. Maybe trying to create stars. A new mega stars. Zombie. I don't know where they get these ideas from. Honestly.
Umbrella.
I don't know where they get these ideas from. But yeah, the story's fucking garb. Absolute garb. It's fire and forget. It's just like, hey, there's something going on in this game that isn't just killing zombies. At no point was the story interesting enough for me to be like, oh, I better go to the next part and see what happens. You know what I mean?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, it's split up into a few cases. Individual cases, so the case in the mall, and then you'll move outside, it's a new case. But the story isn't anything to write home about. If you're a fan of the franchise, you'll probably want to finish the story and take some notes there. But there's a few obscure references, but nothing really.
Yeah.
But I tell you what was distracting as well, although that's the main story. 3 had a lot of decent side quests where survivors had little missions and stuff that were involved. I mean, you end up fighting ghosts at one point. I don't know if you remember that. We ended up in a graveyard fighting ghosts and doing all those kind of things. None of that this time. None of
just
that
like
at all.
real tongue-in-cheek. And sometimes they gave you blueprints as well, if I remember right.
Yeah, I mean, all the side quests this time, they might give you a blueprint for a new weapon, but it's basically a survivor, so you'll be driving around and you'll see a guy stood on a car, and then you drive the next car, and there's another guy on a car, and that plays into part of the gameplay. And the other side quests are kill the military guys. That's about it. Nothing with like a mini story that I found within the first few cases that was particularly interesting.
So you actually kill military people?
Yeah.
So you're a
more
murderer.
dangerous than anything. I mean, we're getting. Let's move on to the gameplay.
Okay, let's do that.
So the gameplay is everything you'd expect from Dead Rising. You're gonna just make ridiculous weapons, go out, test them on a big bunch of zombies, go and find another one to make. If you don't like that collectathon style, you will hate this game because there's nothing much else to do.
Really?
It's get a cool weapon, go outside, try it out, go, that was awesome, and it is awesome as you saw when we played the multiplayer. Some of these weapons are fucking awesome. Then go and find the next one, and then do that again. Because like the story isn't interesting or anything like that. But what you do have is safe houses where you're going to send the survivors back, like you've had similar stuff in previous games.
Yeah.
And then you can upgrade them, and basically they're going to. The biggest thing for upgrading these things, these safe houses, is to get the maps to find the collectibles. That's it. So it's like the first one will show you where all the blueprints are on the map. The next one will show you where all the cell phones are on the map. The next one will show you where all the newspapers are on the maps. And then you have to send more survivors back, which again are these side objectives I mentioned in the story, to get like a level 3 safe house, which will then give you access to different maps.
So is it the same safe house that just builds up as you increase?
No, you find multiple of them. So it'll say this one needs like 7 survivors, and you'll just randomly bump into survivors and send them back. They'll just be surrounded by zombies, kill zombies, the survivor will go thanks and go back. And that's essentially it. That's your gameplay. But all it does is open vendors who can automatically give you combo weapons. So if you can't find all the ingredients for something and you have that favorite weapon or whatever it might be, that's what it's there for, really, because you can just buy them from the vendors in the safe houses. Some new gameplay stuff they did add was the exosuit beef. So you tried it in multiplayer.
I did. It totally didn't make sense why it's there.
It kind of does if you play the story, because obviously this military unit is in there. Yeah, so you'll find the exosuits in military trucks, which are dotted about the city, and they respawn as well. So once you know where one spawns, you can just go back and get it. Like I say, the game's mostly just a sandbox of death. Which is actually okay, because the weapons that are standardly in the game, a lot of them featured in 3. There are some new ones. But the exosuit gives you mega strength, is the idea. So you can wield things like turreted miniguns and giant battle axes that are 4 times the size of a guy.
Oh, like actual stone axes, or like models like you see in the ground, like statues.
Yeah, exactly.
You can
lift up car doors. You can lift things that an ordinary man can't lift. And you can use them as weapons and do all that kind of stuff. Same with the vehicles. Some mega vehicles that have all little attacks and stuff like that. The same stupid fun that you'll find. This game is all about just like having little bits of fun with the weapons and not much else, unfortunately. Again, it's collectathon the game. The one cool addition though is the camera. Makes perfect sense.
Very good. I had a bit of a laugh with that as well.
Yeah, you get a selfie camera, and there's, again, collectibles, which are going to allow you to unlock filters. So I've got like the black and white filter, and you can take pictures, and you get levels for doing it. So you can get all these stupid faces, you can get Frank to pull and all that kind of stuff. But again, it's collectible stuff. It's going around and just trying to create some mayhem. The leveling system's in there. Not particularly interesting, unfortunately. Again, it's like more crit with weapons.
No,
you have 1 extra weapon slot.
I suppose it is going to be basic, though, isn't it, in this type of game?
I disagree with that. It doesn't have to be at all. I would love to have seen stuff like various skill animations with blunt weapons, different melee combos.
Different combo attacks. If I preferred to melee,
I would have loved more melee combos. I didn't see any real... This game's not as silly as Dead Rising 3, which is weird, because it's very aware that it's a stupid, silly game. But if you think about the bosses and stuff we had in 3, where it was like the big fat woman who was on a wheelchair chasing you around, or you had a guy who was trying to throw flamethrowers at you out of a big cannon. Not in this one. Not in this one.
It tries to take itself serious.
It's a military guy with a minigun. It's a military guy with an assault rifle. It's a few military guys. What I mainly bumped into in the first few hours. That was pretty much it. And beyond that, it's not as silly as 3 was. And the story does seem to be taking itself seriously. But at the same time, you're still mowing down thousands of fucking zombies with an ice sword.
Yeah.
Or your Blanca. Or your Mega Man. Or your you actually get to be Hagar from Final Fight. Which is very cool.
Senator Hagar.
Senator Hagar, you get to be Hagar. So it's still got all this stuff where you're wearing a dress and a giant Lego helmet.
Yeah.
Well, but instead of the story being on the silly par with how over the top it is, it kind of like is trying to be like a serious story. And it doesn't clash well at all. Because it's like, I'm scared of zombies in some parts. And then suddenly you walk around with an ice sword and kill 100 zombies in one go. So that really is weird. We should talk about the multiplayer. So it's... horde mode.
It does exist, asterisk, but it's not story co-op like we like and are used to.
Yeah, it's just a horde mode, 4-player horde mode, and it's very much in sort of a vein of Killing Floors. You'll get a vending machine where you can buy your weapons. You get mini objectives in the multiplayer, which aren't particularly fun, like finding the baubles and then hanging the baubles, or drive cars, little radio controlled, not radio controlled, but miniature toy cars back to a place, which is kind of funny. I mean, it's all about whether or not you find it really funny long term. It's funny for about 2 minutes. Everything you do in the game is really funny. Riding the segways and
these little things, though, things like that, they were all restricted from a time constraint. You have a certain amount of time to do this objective, and I get that. But in this type of game where you want to spend your time exploring items, areas, combinations, different shops. I want to spend time doing that. I don't want to feel like I have to do something in a certain amount of time.
That's the way the single player plays. Like I said, you don't really want to do the story because it's not that fun. Yeah. So the entire single player is collectathon. It's going to shops, see what that shop sells, what outfits does it sell, is it anything funny? Go to the next shop, go to the next shop, go to the next shop. And they're all highlighted on your map to go and do that and unlock these areas. In multiplayer, it's just timer, get this mission done in a certain timer. You might get a decent weapon, you might get some more money, also buy some better weapons.
What I didn't like was the end of a round. You had a certain amount of time to get to the safe house. Now, that should, let's just say that should be there, the timer. If you don't make it back to the safe house in time, it counts you as dead.
Yeah, it's just game over at that point, yeah.
For me, that's bollocks. It should just be a case of you don't get to use any of the items that are in the safe house at the end of that round. You just have to stay as stock. You could be at half health with half your items already busted. It shouldn't just eliminate you from the game because you didn't make it to that safe house because you're in an enclosed area.
Did include a boss, though. El Santo Claus.
El Santo Claus. And he says, ho, 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 I've got a crossbow.
Puns for days.
The puns for days.
The multiplayer is bad. It's really not fun. And we really didn't like, actually, the multiplayer, is it restricted us to just one map.
Yes.
For a long time. Like, you had to do that map like 3 or 4 times before it would unlock the second map.
It unlocks other maps by the number of objectives you do on the map prior.
Yeah, exactly. And the sad thing is it wasn't interesting enough to make us want to do that.
No, absolutely
And that is the
not.
simple truth of it, is it just was not interesting enough to make us want to do the same map 4 times.
Yeah.
It just was not fun at all. So there you go. Pros then of the game is the weapons are really funny. The weapons are really funny. Getting a new blueprint, get it crafted, find out what the special attacks are. It's cool. It's really fun. And then you want to move on to the next one. So other than that, there's just cons, unfortunately. If you don't like what I just said was the pro, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. There's not much else to do this in game. Zombies are never a threat. You just run around them. They're there to test weapons on. They might as well be just walking dummies for everything else. And then you get the odd military mix-up, and then you'll get some different types of zombies and special zombies later on. The performance of the game is all over the fucking place. Really weird. Really weird.
FPS
like,
drop?
Yeah, you'd think you'd hear that and say, oh, it must be because you had it on very high. I actually turned it down to high, which for my PC should stomp it. Oh, it must be because there was loads of zombies. No. In occasions where I had hundreds of zombies on my screen, I had 60 FPS. In a basement corridor, 30.
Yeah.
And chugging. And it's like, it's so bizarre. The way they've optimized it is really weird. The multiplayer is hilariously fucking bad. Overall, it's Dead Rising as you know it, but it's not as good as 3.
All the goodness taken out of it.
Yeah, I'd just say it's not as good as 3. It's not as fun as 3. It's not as clever as 3. The dialogue's a little better than I can't remember the name of the guy in 3 with all the tattoos, but it's not as... It's trying to do something different. Trying to go back to like 1. But it can't. It's gone too far for that. It'd be like if Saints Row came out and was like GTA.
And it tried to be really serious.
It just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah,
and they're
that's
trying
a good
to make
example.
it silly at the same time. So there you go, guys. Dead Rising 4. How do you feel looking at the only 2 people in the world, mate, playing the multiplayer? That's right. That's how ahead of the game we were. I know what you're thinking. How is that possible? Nobody's playing. It's not very good. What a shame. What a shame from a game that 3 we played the shit out of on co-op.
Yes.
Yeah, we co-oped the fuck out of 3 and we had good fun doing it as well. We ran a sushi bar in 3 in fact.
We did.
Yeah, we ran a
Angry
sushi bar in
Chefs,
3. All this was the stuff we was excited for Dead Rising 4 and it's just not there. It just came up with a horde mode. which really fucking sucks. The story is not as good as 3. Gameplay's not as good as 3. But, well, it's basically the same as 3, but doesn't take much chances. The exosuit's kind of fun, but it's limited time.
And it's got power as well, so it winds down pretty
exactly.
quickly, so.
Yeah, it's all those kind of things that you don't expect. So it is coming out on Steam, like we said at the beginning of the video, in 90 days. But I'd probably wait for a sale. I mean, it's basically collectathon the game. That's pretty much it. Anything else is... Maybe you'll like it, maybe not. It's not the Frank West we know and love. You know, it's just it's a bit of a cash-in, to be honest. But anyway, if you enjoyed that video, we've got some highlights coming after this, and you can also check out our previous video, which was...
Hitman, mate.
That's right. 47, mate.
You stand still right there. Oh! Twofer! No match found. You want to search for a game with fewer people?
Yes.
Yes. Match found. Neo Preach! You are literally the only fucking game that is there! Holy shit! Holy fucking shit!
What I'm talking about. Alright, mate.